Hi folks, hope you're doing well. It's time. Remember, it's 4:45 on the 2nd of August 2020. Cool. Right, so it's Sunday, so I hope you've had a good weekend. Third time we're trying to address a certain issue. Well, on this. I was trying to make this one video. I mean, I've spoken about this issue a number of times. Yeah, anyway. Okay, so situation with neighbour. Last night, took dogs out, off lead, not in car, just across the road to a little bit of park there. When we come back, Amber just ran straight back. She just wanted to get a drink. Told her not to, but she took no notice. When I got round here, neighbour's dog Floyd was on top of her, as per usual, forcing her to submit. When she tried to move, of course, Floyd moved to block her so he could make sure she was submitting still. Then neighbour's boyfriend starts saying, "Oh, your dogs have got to be on the lead." I said, "Well, I haven't got any leads anymore. They're all gone because they've been off lead for so long." He said, "Well, if your dog's not on lead, I'm going to put you on an effing lead." Right, okay. So let's just look at that situation for a second. Okay. When my dogs are off lead, their dog harasses my dogs, right? But they have space to get away. That's one thing. They do have space to get away, so that's good. Okay. Now let's picture that differently. Dogs are now on lead. I've got 5 leads, 5 dogs around my legs. I try and go across the garden with their dog there, but of course them or her certainly not trying to supervise a dog in any way, shape or form or control it. So it tries to harass Amber. There's a good chance that Lucy wouldn't be too impressed with that. Certainly if she's next to Amber. Or if Chewie was next to Amber, Chewie wouldn't be impressed. Neither would Riley. Now, of course, they can't get away now. So they can't move away from him. So therefore, they have to deal with the situation at hand, don't they? Now, of course, there's likely to be a fight between maybe 1 or 2 of my dogs and Floyd. Right? Chances is I'm going to get bitten during this time. Quite likely by the one coming in to attack, which would be Floyd. Now, if that happens, what happens legally? Well, legally speaking, her dog gets taken away from her because, of course, the police are called. They assess the situation. I have to video the whole thing. They look at the video. They look at the fact that she's just videoing this happening with a big smile on her face, loving it. And then they examine me being bit. Of course, what they do is they take away the dog. They put her in cuffs. She gets taken away and charged. The dog gets put down. That's what happens. Another situation that could also happen that could lead to the same thing, but even worse, is Amber is pregnant. She's only about 3 weeks pregnant right now, so she's not really showing. They don't start showing until they're around about 6 weeks pregnant. But as I said earlier, when we come back earlier, yesterday, Floyd was harassing Amber. Now, if she's more heavily pregnant, there's 2 things that could happen. Well, there's 3 things that could happen. First thing is nothing. Nothing could happen. She gets harassed by him. He eventually leaves her alone. She comes in, right? Even if she's on lead, yes? Number 2, she's on lead, so she can't get away. So another possibility is that she's trying to protect her pups. So she has a go at him because he's harassing her, and she's more heavily pregnant now. She's on lead because certainly with her, when she's heavily pregnant, I put on lead. She walks around only on lead, just around the area. With Mollie, different matter because she'd come to heel to a certain degree, and because she's heavier, she doesn't walk around that quickly anyway when she's pregnant, so that's cool. But with Amber, she's on lead. So there is a third option. So first option, nothing happens. Second option, she has a go at him, where they have a fight. Right? But he's quite a lot bigger than she is, so therefore she'd probably come off worse. So again, that'd be videoed, police to be called, action taken. Third option, because of the stress, she loses her pups. What happens then? What happens then is that all the evidence of the harassment gets taken to court, and neighbour gets sued for the cost of the pups and for the stress to Amber and the stress to me. So you're looking normally that Amber would have 6 pups. That's £525 a pup. That's just over £3,000 plus stress. Then 18, so £1,000 for Amber, £1,000 for me. That's £5,000. And the court would probably also order that a dog will be taken away from her, so it can't happen again. So £5,000 she'll have to pay up, and she'd still lose her dog. So that's the thing with dogs being on lead, is that there will be consequences to the dogs being on lead, which is why I've not put the dogs on lead. See, I don't want Floyd to have to be put down. I don't blame Floyd. It's not his fault. He's just being a dog. He's just doing what a dog would do. An untrained Border Collie who is bored off his head will go to interact with mine, even to have a fight with mine, because a fight is doing something. That's the reality. It's never the dog's fault. Dogs will do what dogs are allowed to do. Simple. So, and in the end, as I've said before, my dogs have been going through that garden, and for the first 4 years, completely unmolested by another dog. And so and they've been off lead pretty much the whole of that time. Pretty much for at least 3 years at that time. Once I'd been trained enough that they would sit and stay when I told them to, they've been off lead. There was no need to put them on lead at all. Because going across traffic, I tend to sit and stay, and they would. Well, that was with Mollie, Chewie, and Lucy. Once I got Amber and Riley, it's they'll still do it, but I've got to keep a closer eye on Amber and Riley. The older 3 would just do it. They just sit and stay. And once they learned to sit and stay, that was it. Then they could be off lead. They come back when I called them. They did as they were told, so there was no risk of them running across the road, getting run over. So they've been off lead ever since then. And they've been running through that garden to go out and to come back in with no issue at all. They were actually, for 4 years, using both the gardens upstairs. They were there to play in those gardens. So to them, of course. As I say, it's not that difficult to control a dog, especially a collie. Collies are easy to train if you put the effort in. But that's the point, if you put the effort in. So there you go. It is what it is. That's why I don't put my dogs on lead. Simple. And I mean, I'm quite happy if the police apparently told the neighbour that my dog should be on lead. But if those officers want to come and tell me that my dog should be on lead, fine. I take the details of the police officers. That's cool. And if anything happens, I will be contacting their supervisor and getting them sacked and suing them directly. And I tell them that when they're here. Of course, them saying my dog should be in a situation when they can be attacked and not be able to get away. Because clearly, if the neighbour has no interest in controlling her dog, my dog's being on the lead is only going to make the situation worse, not better. It's obviously the case. So there you go. Well, I'll just explain that situation to you because that's the issue. And that's a repeated issue. And as I say, her boyfriend was having a go at me about that last night, and there's a reason why my dogs aren't on lead. It's a very good reason. The three of us, there's at least one of us who doesn't want Floyd put down. And that's me. So, yeah. So I won't blame the dog. I'll tell you one thing I understood earlier. This is never going to happen, and I'm not saying it really should happen, but imagine this for a second. If when a dog bit a human, the dog owner would be put down instead of the dog, do you think owners would be taking more care over their dogs, making sure that they were controlled and trained? I think they would. I think they would. Well, I have a similar situation to the neighbour myself with Amber. Amber has a habit when we're out of going up to dogs she doesn't know and acting aggressively towards them. Whether she's trying to warn them off the pack, to stay away, or I have no idea what she's seeing it as. So when I go for a walk and there's a dog, I have to get Amber to me to make sure she doesn't do that. And the reason is quite simple. I want to protect her. That's the reality. I want to protect her. Not only could another dog really hurt her, which I wouldn't want, she could be having a go at a dog. The owner of the other dog could try and push her away. She can accidentally nip that person. That person makes a complaint to the authorities. She's behaving aggressively. She bit him. She gets taken away and she gets put down. So therefore, I make sure she doesn't do that because I don't want to have her put down. Simple, really. She's the only one in my group who is a bit of an issue. Chewie is a softie. There is times if a dog is harassing him, he will, stick up for himself. Oh, he will. Mollie does as well. Mollie, again, is a softie. She, generally speaking, has never been aggressive to a dog unless a dog has continually pestered her. Then she shows teeth. She sometimes snaps at a dog if it doesn't take notice of her showing teeth. But, none of mine are like that, really, except Amber. Amber's the only one, and that's when we're out for a walk. So it's not. I'm not concerned about the others. If I come towards someone who's got a dog, the others, I basically say, okay, you can go over and say hello. I'll keep an eye. If there's any aggression from the other dog, I'll call you back to me. Simple. But I keep Amber right next to me. She's on the lead. At that point in time, she's on the lead. I've got a lead with me, and she goes on the lead as soon as I see another dog. And there's a potential situation where she could get herself in danger. I make sure that she is out of danger. because that's my responsibility to her. If she's important to me, if she's part of my family, if I love her in any way, shape, or form, then I want to ensure that she's safe. I want to ensure that she's okay. Especially, I want to ensure that she doesn't have to be put down for aggressive behaviour. I don't understand why people allow their dogs to be aggressive to others and don't do anything about it, because the risk is always that your dog could have to be put down. And yeah, it's what it is. As I say, for me, as a lover of dogs, I don't want any dog to be put down. I want owners to take responsibility for their dogs. Simple, really. I mean, neighbours, why on earth do neighbours want to continually having shit with other neighbours? What's the point of it? You know, what's the benefit of it? In the end, you have one life. And you want to spend your life being a pain in the ass to someone else. Okay. All right. Go for it. If you think that's a way to live, great. Go for it. Yeah, because in the end, we're all going to face a time of judgment. That's a reality. I don't just believe it, I know that it's true. We're going to face a time of judgment where God is going to judge us for how we behaved. So if you want to be someone that just wants to be a pain in the bloody ass to other people, you've condemned yourself. And if you want to do that, for what exactly? Why? You know, what would you get out of it that means that you're quite happy to not only risk your dog's life, but also your eternal future? For what? I mean, even if the possibility of judgment is only 50%, is it worth it? Well, to some people it clearly is, isn't it, really? If that's the case, then that's the case. So, I indeed. As I say, I've spoken to the police about the situation. I've said to them that get the officers who apparently spoke to my neighbour to come round and speak to me. Yeah, because fine, tell me that. I mean, the neighbours seem to think that them telling me that the police said something means that I'm going to obey that. I mean, as I've explained in this video, my dog's on the lead is a bad idea. So unless I'm actually told directly by the police that that has to be the situation, then I'm not going to do that. Because I don't want the situation to get worse. I don't want anything to have to happen to the dog next door. He's not a bad dog. Not in any way, shape, or form. There's no reason why his life should end. At all. All it needs to be doing is just understanding that, the area that I go through is a right of way. It's the only place I can go through, and the dogs have been going through that area for 6 years, 4 years, completely unmolested. Completely unmolested for 4 years, other 6. So, there's no reason why they shouldn't be allowed to continue going through there completely unmolested. They don't need to be on the lead because, generally speaking, they come when called. Generally speaking. Yeah, you have times when they don't. Like, for example, if Floyd is around Chewie and trying to be the boss around Chewie, then it takes me calling Chewie a few times before he'll walk away from that. He's got this younger dog sort of trying to be the boss over him, and of course, he's like, no, I'm sorry, you're not my boss. And of course, then it takes a while. But the others, generally speaking, they come when called. So, as I say, they stay when I tell them to stay. Oh, yeah. So, they're off lead. and it's been fine with them being off lead. The only problem is that if the neighbour isn't prepared to control their dog or supervise their dog or whatever the wording that's needed, yeah, it's only going to get to a situation where there are bigger problems. So why? There you go. As I say, to me, it's simple. It doesn't need too much explanation. It's blatantly bloody obvious. To other people, clearly not so simple. So there you go. You take care. God bless. And I will speak to you soon. Bye bye.